Alright, YouTubers, making this video today for my vintage Czechoslovakian glass Mardi Gras bead collectors. There's a lot of different ones out there. Some are real, some are kind of fake, some are totally fake. I'm going to try and show you the difference between everything. I've been buying and selling vintage beads now for probably 30 years. At one time, I had probably one of the largest collections. I had a couple thousand of them, but I've sold off a few of them. Probably got about 500 or 600 in stock right now. But I sell a lot on eBay, and there's a lot of junk on there on eBay that's claiming to be vintage Czechoslovakian beads, but most of them aren't. But I'm gonna try and show y'all a few things that I know. I used to deal with a guy back in the 80s, older guy. He's gone now, but he was pretty knowledgeable on them, so he told me a lot of stuff about them. Most of it I still remember, so most of this is going to be pretty accurate, I think. That's the way I was told. So we'll take a look at some stuff in a little while, but alright, most of the real Czech beads were imports from Czechoslovakia was stopped, I think, in the late 30s because of the war. So after that, some of them still came in through Canada and Mexico, maybe, you know, for a few years later, whatever backstock they had of them. But a lot of these beads are probably getting close to 100 years old. So the string on them is pretty, some of them are kind of real fragile, but most of them are still pretty strong. It's amazing that something this old, that string that old, is still in pretty good shape. I have people that still wear them every day, and they never have them restrung, but I always suggest that they get them restrung just because the string is kind of old. But they did throw different glass beads at Mardi Gras all the way up until I think it was the mid-60s when they banned them from throwing the glass beads, when people were getting hurt every year from these beads are pretty heavy. And I guess in the 60s they probably started to sue, so they had to ban them, and they went to the plastic stuff. But the glass ones was still a favorite with people, and I've collected them and sold them over the years, and I want to show you a few of them and take a look at some of the better ones here. And a lot of these still have the tags on them from Czechoslovakia, so these are definitely the real ones. You can get some really nice stuff. Some of them are made cheaper than the other ones, but there's a lot of them that are really done nice. I'm gonna take a look at some individual ones in a little while and show you the difference in the old ones. And then in the 60s, people would just collect all the broken beads on the ground, and then they would restring them and make different beads out of them. But they're still Czechoslovakian beads, but they're not the original ones. But I'm going to show you how to tell the difference on those. Here's a few pics of ones that I know for sure are real. These were still, some of them still have the Czechoslovakian tag on them. I don't know if you barely could read it on most of them, but a lot of them still have the tags on them. And the quality of them, you could tell just by the quality of them. But the main way you could tell is the clasp. If they don't have a real clasp on them, now they made all different kinds of clasp, but it has to be a real metal clasp. If it's not a real metal clasp, it's aluminum or something, it's not a real vintage Czechoslovakian bead. It's a remake of ones that were busted up, and somebody in New Orleans made them in the 60s. I'm going to show you those later. Here's a few more of them. These are pretty nice. And again, the quality is really, really good on these beads. When I show you the other ones, you'll see there's no comparison to them. Here's a few more. And again, some of these could fake me out even and not be Czech beads, but most of them I think are. Like I said, a lot of them still have the tags, but it's all in the clasp. The clasp is the main thing. And this is the last set of the good ones I'm going to show y'all. We're going to go to the other stuff after this. And y'all can make up your mind and see what y'all think. Okay, here's some of the ones that people are selling on eBay, and they swear up and down that these are the original, Czechoslovakian beads. But the way you could tell, basically, is the aluminum clasp. Back when in the war, aluminum was way more expensive than gold, I think. I'm not sure exactly the price, but it was way high. They would have never used aluminum clasp in the 30s on beads. Also, these are done on fishing string, which, again, I don't think, I've never seen one from Czechoslovakia on fishing string. So these here were picked up off the ground. They used to bust a lot because they were so heavy when they threw them. That people would pick them up off the ground and save them, and then just make their own beads. Back in the 60s, that was real popular. They would string them up and just make their own beads. And like I said, it's done on fishing string with aluminum clasp. You're looking at these here compared to this stuff here. It's not even on the same planet. These here are all nicely done. These here are overstrung. They got too much stuff on them. Or they're understrung. You got big old gaps in them. And like I said, the aluminum clasp is the thing. You see aluminum clasp on ones you bought, they're not real. They're real glass, real Czechoslovakian glass, but they were made in New Orleans and restrung. They would have never sent no junk like this over here compared to all this stuff. If you look at these, it's a simple choice. Which ones are real? All these are nicely done. They do make mixed color ones. I just got most of the single color ones just because that's the ones that sell better. Easier to wear, I guess, than the mixed colors, but it would never come out looking like this from Czechoslovakia. And then the past few years, these have been showing up at Mardi Gras. I've caught these the last probably 10 or 15 years. These are made, you can see the tag right there, made in India. And it's all recent stuff. None of these are old. This is all new stuff. And they've been throwing these at Mardi Gras. It's a real light glass bead, but they are glass. Like I said, they're not old at all. And then they have these. These are old. They're actually made in Japan. They got a label on them, but I have these in a box that I had in my attic. My parents' attic from the 60s, so they're at least that old. I don't know if they're older than that. I can't find anybody that knows anything on them. But they're tube glass, and they're real fragile. Well, not that fragile, but the problem is I got a few hundred pair, and they tangle up like crazy. It took me 20 minutes just to get these 4 out of the bundle. So I don't fool with these too often, and again, I don't know how old they are. I know they're at least from the 60s, I think. They may be older than that, but I don't know when, I don't know, this might have been after the war or something with Japan. I'm not sure. But they're nice. A lot of people break them up and make earrings and stuff out of them because these little tubes are pretty cool to make earrings out of. I know a lady used to do them, but I haven't seen her in a while, so. But it's an idea if anybody's looking to do something, Okay, one last thing. Like I said, if y'all want to buy them, it's best to buy the good ones. I have people that are invested in these, and they think it's a good investment. So I've been selling to them for years, and they've gone up. I started selling these at $4 or $5 a pair. Now I'm selling them for $15, maybe some of them even $20 a pair. So it's a little bit of, it's a wearable investment, something, if you know. So, but like I said, buy the good ones. Don't buy the aluminum glass ones. There are people that will tell you to their last breath that these are real, but they're not. All you got to do is look at the aluminum prices in the 30s, and you'll know that they never would have used aluminum on their beads, especially with the war coming up for them. So that's out the question. Those were done in the 60s. They're still old, but they were done in the 60s. This is the stuff you want. Real clasp, real glass, real string. Not this. This. All right, YouTubers. This is going to be it for now. I hope this give y'all some good information on this stuff. And like I said, most of it's pretty accurate. I mean, I ain't gonna guarantee you everything is, because there's not a lot of people around that still know what's going on with this stuff. But this I got from an old guy in the 80s, and he claimed to know what he was talking about. So we will see. Thank y'all for watching.